Hey peeps, Tyler here with my weekly wrap-up. Just gonna get into it. I've read quite a bit this past week, but as I'm reading multiple books at once, I haven't actually finished anything. So, for the Frankenstein, A Cultural History, I'm currently on page 74. So, enjoying that. And of course, right now it's mostly a bunch of stuff I already know, but I'm also not far into it. Again, slowly reading Gandhi. I'm on page 87. So it's slow, but I am making progress. And I am enjoying that. And I'm on page 100 for Save the Cat Writes a Young Adult Novel. So I read some more of this, which I'm also enjoying in it. Every time I read this or any other craft book, I end up getting ideas or writing videos or whatever. A large part of the progress, which is not nearly as impressive as it looks, depending, I guess, on how you look at it, is House of Leaves. I'm on page 246, which is a large leap from last week. However, that's because at first it was very difficult to get to the pages. They were taking forever, because House of Leaves is a nightmare. And I was thinking, I tried reading it 5 years ago in 2019 and DNF'd it. I'm already past, I DNF'd it on page 74 5 years ago. So I was already on page 100 something, thinking, I'm going to DNF it a second time. I just know it, I can't do this. This is too confusing, too hard. I'm losing my goddamn mind. And then suddenly, I watched some House of Leaves videos, which helped. So, okay, I don't have to understand every little thing. Some people are probably going to yell at me for that. But if that was the case, I would never finish it. So I'm going to get what I get out of it. But also, after I got through that, there was a whole bunch of pages with a few words on them, each, so many pages, where the average amount of words might have been 2 or 3. Some only had 1. And there was just a bazillion of them. And then, of course, stuff like this, where there's, maybe a few sentences. There was so many of them all at once. So that's how I ended up getting to page 246. Because slowly going through the only astrology book you'll ever need. Currently on page 109. Something I forgot to mention last week is I did read some of the Slugs and Snails book by Robert Andrew Duncan Cameron, which I have on Kindle. I'm at 32% right now. That's a very long book non-fiction book about snails. So that is what I've read in this past week. The only thing I played was a little bit of MapleStory. I watched a movie, Frankenhooker from 1990. I talked about it in my video this past Friday called Chat and Sesh, announcing Project Body, Frankenhooker movie review, and more. Posted on Friday, August 23rd, 2024. And in that video, I put timestamp in the description of where I talk about the Frankenhooker movie review, because I talk about it there, and it was traumatizing because of the ending. Because I'm a trans dude, the look on his face was horror, dysphoria. I gave it a 4.5 stars, but I'm never watching it again. If you want to know my full thoughts, like I said, the timestamp is in the description of Friday's video. So if that's all you're interested in, and not the whole video, you can just watch that part. I'll leave a link in the description and probably put it in the end screen. So, that's all I watched, which is going to probably haunt me. I've written a total of 1,140 words this past week. 547 of which were on Project Mabon, my main project, which is a fantasy, YA fantasy story with a trans boy main character in a fantasy world, and I have videos on that. And right now, a lot of it's procrastination because I'm not quite sure how to do the scene, but also I just need to sit my butt and look in the chair and look at the screen for a while and figure it out. But 547 words, I'm slowly getting there because that's what I'm doing. And I've also been watching a lot of writing videos and getting motivation and inspiration and trying to figure out what exactly I want to do. And I realize a lot of the reason why I'm slow going initially is because I've been learning how to write, probably a bit too obsessively, by which I mean writing craft books and articles and writing videos and all that kind of stuff. And I think I finally reached a point where I need to switch to more writing than learning. I always want to keep a balance. I know there's always going to be more to learn, and I always want to get to do learning and growing. But I need to write more now. So hopefully that's going to be coming. I don't know if that made sense. It probably didn't. Anyway, the other 593 words were on a short story that I've started with Project Body, because with Project Body, that's the whole thing, because that's going to be a short story collection is what I'm planning. And I wrote what I called Project Bugs, I think, last week or whatever, and that was a short story that I still have to edit and whatnot. But that short story, the rough draft, is done. It's only a little over 1,000 words. So each story gets its own name, even though the whole collection is called Project Body. That's just how my brain is working. So this second one that I've started is Project Cis, C-I-S. Frankenhooker is not going to get out of my head. But anyway, I don't know exactly how many words that's going to be, but it is going to be a short story. And yeah, like I said, I talk about Project Body in my Friday video as well. That's going to be a short horror story collection is what I'm planning. But I've only started the second short story. I don't know exactly how many are going to be in it, but I have plenty of ideas. I just need to write them, see which ones I like, etc. So that's what I'm going to be working on. I mean, that and Project Mabon and whatnot. But I'm going to be hopefully working more on that. And because I think with me, also with the writing the short stories, now that I wrote the one short story already, it gives me motivation, oh, I can finish something, because it's it feels like there's no end in sight, even though there is, to Project Mabon, because it's by far the longest thing I've ever written. They're not 48 or 49k or whatever at the moment, and I'm in the middle. I just passed the midpoint, as I mentioned a week or two ago or something. And I don't know exactly what I was just saying. Oh, it feels like there's no end in sight, and because the longest story I wrote before that was about 23k, a little under 23k. So I'm already a little over half that, or a little over double that, and I still have half of it to write. So writing the short story and finishing it makes me I can finish this, I can do it. It just gives me some weird motivation, if that makes any sense. So that's why I'm thinking, okay, I'm writing a long novel. I don't want to juggle a million projects at once. I'm going to limit it. And I think a good thing to do when I'm writing a long novel is also work on short stories when I need a break. Yeah, I think that makes sense. So, yeah, and that's what I've done in the past week. I also I've been holding on to this because I bought this actually before my last book haul went up, but after I made it. So I've been holding on to it, and I don't know when I'm going to buy more books. So here's a mini book haul. It's one book. It's the novelization of the Halloween movie. The official movie novelization, Halloween by John Passarella. So that way I can put it up. But I have a book to do, to show in a video or whatever, like book haul. I don't even put it up till after I do it. I just want to put it up because I don't know when I'm going to be buying any more books. I'm sure I will, but I don't know when. So that is what I've done in the past week. What have you read, watched, etc.? Like, comment, share, subscribe, hit the bell if you want to. Thank you for watching, and have a nice day. And if you're wondering what the shirt says, 10 fingers are overrated. Because I only have 9.